Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Veterans Park in Chatham, Massachusetts. The Commodores on the road to take on the Chatham Anglers. Zach Stack alongside Matt Venezia. Glad you joined us tonight. Should have a fun one out here in Chatham between the Doors and the A's. And now we'll quickly get you the starting lineups in tonight's action. First for the Doors, John Spikerman, the switch-hitting outfielder, leading it off. Then Travis Bazzana will follow him at second base. Kyle DeBarge is over at third and hitting third once again. Cade Snell moves up into the cleanup spot, the DH, and he will be followed by Tyler McGregor, who drops down a slot to hit fifth. Those two flip-flop as Luke Heyman follows them in the sixth hole. 7, 8, 9, pretty similar to what we've seen, Matt. Gavin Keelan hit seventh, Nate Humphreys hitting eighth, and Tab Tracy rounds things out in the 9 hole.
Yeah, it's been the last couple of nights we've seen the four outfielders be rotated pretty regularly today. No Gavin Turley, obviously had another hit for him yesterday. Good to see him seeing good at bat, Zach. But nonetheless, I mean, look, you have to have the Chatham A's Achilles heel in the lineup. Gavin Keelan has been on a surge, 7 for 10 this season against the A's. Part of it with that 4-hit effort back at the Gov in the 13-4 win a couple of weeks back. But look, nonetheless, you got a good opportunity. A game that was made up now because of the fog when we were here just a couple of weeks back. And if you're the Doors, you got to get yourself off the mat here, and you got a chance tonight.
Quickly taking you through the Chatham side, Caden Kent leads it off at shortstop. Bryce Martin Grudzelanek will hit second and play second. Zach McDonald hits third, the center fielder. Nolan Schubert, the cleanup man and the designated hitter tonight for Chatham. Tyler Wolford follows him with Xavier Casarilla quickly behind, the third baseman for the Anglers. Kyson Donahue out of Hawaii will bat seventh out in left field. Hudson White, the catcher, hitting eighth, and Trace Wilhoit rounds it out in the 9 spot, the first baseman for acting head coach Marty Lees tonight and Chatham.
Yeah, once again, I mean, the big elephant in the room is that the Chatham A's, they've had so many games canceled to weather. Doubleheader for them. This is the second half of it. Got the win earlier against the Wareham Gatemen in a game that we were keeping a close eye on, obviously, in terms of dealing with the West Division and where Wareham was going to be standing. So because of the Anglers' win, you got a chance to do double damage today against the Gatemen if you can beat Chatham tonight. Not only that, find a way back into the win column. It's been a lot of flip-flopping. Looking for a clean effort tonight, no doubt, from Jeff Trundy's guys.
Falmouth trying to get back into the win column tonight. We'll have the first pitch for you in just a minute. We're going to step aside. Be back with more on the other side of the break. This is your home for Falmouth Commodores baseball. About ready for first pitch from Chatham. The Anglers taking the field defensively. We'll take you through the defensive alignment for Chatham. Kyson Donahue out in left field with Zach McDonald in center and Tyler Wolford in right. Infield from left to right, Casarilla, Kent, Martin Grudzelanek, and Will Hoyt with Hudson White. Behind the plate, catching the balls and strikes from Carson Pierce out of Oklahoma.
Yeah, you and I took a look at the lineup today. Very interesting look. Obviously, with the A's having to, have some different guys in there because of yesterday, or rather, excuse me, the doubleheaders first half earlier today. Different looking guys just trying to keep bodies fresh because these A's have another doubleheader in a matter of days.
They do, and that's what we've talked about. This is the first of 3 doubleheaders over the next couple of weeks to finish out the season. They've got a pair of doubleheaders against Orleans.
And because of that, from what I understand, I don't think the games began, Zach. So it could be 2 7-inning games, right? So that's an interesting element to throw in there as well.
I think one of them, if I remember correctly, was in like the 4th inning, and so it'll feel like 2 7-inning games because you'll have 5, and then you'll probably have 9 after that, I would assume.
Right.
But maybe not. I'm not exactly sure how they will go about that. I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Nonetheless, I mean, it's been a tough season for the Chatham A's. Obviously, you look at the record right now in the basement of the East, but only 5 points back of Brewster. That's kind of fallen off a little bit. Those Whitecaps have struggled here a little bit. But nonetheless, I mean, in terms of the fog cancellations, the weather, the Chatham A's have not played a ton of baseball. And because of that, as a result, it's going to be a lot of games down the stretch for Marty Lees and his guys.
And back-to-back wins for Chatham as well between last night and then the game to start the day today against Wareham. John Spikerman steps in, the switch hitter from the left side against his collegiate teammate in Carson Pierce, and we're about ready to get underway. Pierce gets the sign from Hudson White. The righty goes into the motion and delivers the first pitch. A called strike at 92 miles an hour to start off this game at 7:01 p.m. from Veterans Field. Spikerman hot and cold in this order recently. He's either been pretty much held hitless or worked himself into a multi-hit game as of late. Takes off the plate outside to even it up. It's 1-1. Angles that bat over the shoulder, bends the knees in that stance from the left side. Pierce works third base side in the windup, the 1-1. Called strike, just catches the corner. And it's 1-2. Mike Lum behind the plate. The umpire tonight, Jeff Merzel down the third base line. Joe Gravina down the first base line. Good crew for this one tonight in Chatham. 1-2 to Spikerman. Strike 3 called. Bends the slider back in on the back door and punches out the Falmouth leadoff hitter.
Yeah, Spike not a fan of that one, but just getting the outside third looked pretty good. Carson Pierce, good start to this ball game. Sooner on sooner damage there. John was telling him he's only faced him once and hit a double off him in that matchup back at school, but obviously here goes down on 4.
Now Travis Bazana steps in. Oregon State Beaver had his hit streak and his on-base streak halted yesterday with an 0 for 5 effort. He takes a slider inside to start his AB. Batting from the left side, very lefty-heavy order for Falmouth. 6 lefties and a switch hitter. Just 2 righties against the righty on the mound in Pierce. Bazana shoots one down the line. It's a fair ball. Underhand flip just in time as Pierce was covering the bag. Nice play by Will Hoyt to snare that one before it went over the bag and towards foul territory. 2 up, 2 down for Pierce.
Yeah, it's just a chopper pulled along the first base line. Will Hoyt had to be quick there. Appeared to be a fastball, and he's got a normal four-seam fastball and then what appears to be a sinker working too. So that one kind of jammed Bazana a little bit. Would think that was just the typical four-seam, but got him out in front and finds a way for a ground ball out for out number 2.
Now Kyle DeBarge stands in, takes the fastball for a called strike to start off his outing. Pierce making his Chatham debut and starting pretty well for the Anglers to this point. DeBarge, the first right-handed hitter for the Doors in the lineup. Takes a big cut, comes up empty on the breaking ball. It's quickly 0-2.
That's a good pitch. Just a good spot there for an 0-1. Have it work in on the inside front, come back over the middle. You're ahead 0-2.
Pierce goes into the wind, the 0-2. Chopper on the right side. Martin Grudzelanek fields, And a throw gets DeBarge by a step. Carson Pierce works a 1-2-3 top half. Evan O'Toole trying to match him on the bottom half. In just a minute, this is your home for Falmouth Commodores baseball. An Oklahoma Sooner for Chatham worked a 1-2-3 top half. Now an Oklahoma State Cowboy for the Doors in Evan O'Toole trying to match him. Scoreless ball game through 1/2 inning at Veterans Field, and Evan O'Toole gets his second start of the summer.
Yes, he does. Appearance number 4 for the righty on the mound. Last start came July 12th, that big 9-2 win for the Doors in the midst of the nice run that Falmouth had going for them. 4 innings in that start, gave up a run, 6 hits, struck out 5. Really good stuff from O'Toole. Again, a 4-pitch mix. Fastball, sink, change, and a slide working for him. And again, he gives up some hard contact, but at a lot of guys. Sometimes you can be a fly ball hitter. That's okay. You just got to use yourself to your advantage based on how it moves with the metrics and what these TrackMan stats tell us. I mean, if that's just how your ball spins or for what it worked, I mean, that's just how you got to deliver the pitches. And I think O'Toole understands that. But again, the 5 punch-outs against Brewster, he can get him himself too.
Here comes Caden Kent. First pitch, swinging through a fastball to start off the outing for Evan O'Toole. It's 0-1. Caden Kent bats from the left side. The shortstop looking to get it going. Standing tall in that left-handed batter's box and rips one the other way out to left. Back on it at first was Humphreys, and it now drops in front of him. A leadoff single for Chatham.
Back-to-back heaters right there, and that one just right down the middle on the low side, able to just flip the bat out there on the left on a hop into Nate Humphreys. And O'Toole, we talked about the contact. Now you got to work here with a base runner aboard, but 2 fastballs to start. You got the wave and a miss. Not on the second one, though.
Now it's Bryce Martin Grudzelanek, steps up out of USC. Foul tips. First pitch heater into the glove. Evan O'Toole pumping it in 90-91 to start off the outing. Finds himself working from the stretch now with Kent aboard at first. Kent 1 for 4 this summer on stolen bags. Grudzelanek fouls back a slider, and O'Toole quickly ahead 0-2.
First time we see that pitch, Zach, and you get the result you want. You foul it back, and Evan quickly ahead in the count. Could open the door when you talk about working backwards. If you have a different kind of fastball, you could maybe get that different bit of spin here to go to your way.
0-2 does go fastball, but it's high and outside. Grudzelanek will see another. Grudzelanek baseball family. His mom, Danielle, played softball at UCLA. His dad, Mark, played for 6 different teams, 15 years in the majors. Check swing just gets a piece of the slider to stay alive. Another 1-2.
It's a household last name.
That it is.
There aren't too many Martin Grudzelanek, that's for sure. This is our first chance to get a look at him out of USC, as you mentioned, Zach.
A 1-2 count. O'Toole lifts the leg, delivers low. Went to the slider again, and it evens it up. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Got to wonder if he maybe holds on to that changeup a little bit, just wants to use it maybe the second time through. A lot of guys we've seen kind of show that fourth pitch in their mix the second time through, give hitters something else to think about.
The break even. Hit on the ground to short. Keelan underhand flip to Bazana. The relay to first in time. 6-4-3. And the first 2 anglers retired on 1 swing.
Well, 2-2. You don't want to give the hitter an advantage there after being ahead 0-2. Comes with the fastball there. Jammed him a little bit inside low there, and it's a sharp ground ball right at Gavin Keelan. He turns him so smoothly over there. Got beat by 1, though, yesterday. Good to see him respond after what was really a tough game for everyone yesterday in Hyannis.
Here comes Zach McDonald. Hits one high and deep out to right. Tracy backpedaling to the wall. He leaps and makes the catch. Takes one away from Zach McDonald. And we're scoreless through 1. Doors bats back to the plate with 4-5-6 when we come back. Cade Snell leads off for the Doors in the top of the second after Tab Tracy took a home run away from Zach McDonald to end the first.
Yeah, I mean, just sends it the other way. Tab was kind of circling, as you mentioned. It looked like he was on it, and the wind kind of blowing a little bit out there to right center, and that's exactly where that baseball was headed up until Tab Tracy made a play on it.
Cade Snell takes a sinker in the outside corner for a called strike. It's 0-1. Carson Pierce worked a smooth 1-2-3 top of the first inning in his Chatham debut, trying to impress a good crowd here this Tuesday night. Snell pulls one foul down the first base line, and Pierce once again ahead. It's 0-2. Needed just 9 pitches to get through the first inning. He's now at 11, and 9 of them have been strikes. Left-handed hitter Snell digs back in against the righty Pierce. The 0-2. Swing and a miss. Elevates the heater, and Snell comes up empty. Second punch out for Pierce. 1 away.
Looked like he went with a sinker upstairs there. Got that movement there, horizontal movement there away from the lefty and Cade Snell. And that's what's so lethal about having a 2 fastball mix, is that you can present what looks to be the same pitch, but that subtle movement really does make a difference.
Tyler McGregor takes a called strike. Outside corner, and Pierce continuing to have complete command of the zone right now. Right back on the rubber and ready to go. The 0-1. Breaking ball high and outside. Evens it up to McGregor. Chatham in the home white uniforms with the pinstripes. Script anglers across the chest in blue, and the red numbers on the front, blue numbers on the back. Doors in the road blacks with the gray pants. McGregor chops foul on that fastball, and another count where Pierce is in control. It's 1-2. McGregor out of Northeastern had a red-hot start to the summer for the Doors. He's cooled off a little bit, trying to get his bat back going. The 1-2. Takes high and outside. Works himself back even.
And you mentioned it, Zach. 2 hits in the last 6 for McGregor. Coming back down to earth just a little bit, but still very much a vital point in this lineup in there in the 5 spot.
The 2-2. Misses low. He lays off the slider. And McGregor's worked it all the way back full.
And to be fair, in that stretch, he's worked 4 walks. I mean, he's still seeing pitches up there, just haven't quite gone his way. Only 3 punch-outs as well for him in that stretch of time. It just hasn't been able to find a baseball get through there cleanly for a knock.
The payoff pitch from Pierce. Hit on the ground to first. Gobbled up by Will Hoyt. He'll take it himself. 5 up, 5 down for Carson Pierce.
Well, when you throw a sinker like that kind of off the plate there and low, that's the purpose of that pitch. It's supposed to be what can be used as a ground ball out while still presenting a pitch that you've got good command for. And right there, we see the result of it. It's just pulled there. Easy play at first from Will Hoyt. He's had a couple ground balls already over to him. Second out.
Now the Florida Gator, Luke Heyman, steps in. Righty-righty matchup, and Heyman out in front on the first pitch and chops it back. It's 0-1. Heyman's got really good pop in that bat. Had himself a good freshman season at Florida. All the way to the College World Series final. Takes slider outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Heyman was an All-American in high school. My perfect game. Out of Longwood, Florida. 1-1. Did go around chasing that slider in the dirt. And it's 1-2.
It looked like he held up there a little bit from our vantage point. Mike Lum making that call himself. Typically, you'd like to see a call down to third there, just in case. Not today.
Pierce delivers the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Punches out Heyman. 3 strikeouts through 2 perfect innings of work for Carson Pierce. We head to the bottom of the second, scoreless from Veterans Field. Nolan Schubert leads it off. 4-5-6 for Chatham against Evan O'Toole. They're 6 up, 6 down on the mound for Carson Pierce. O'Toole gave up a leadoff single, but the double play ball helped him to go 3 up, 3 down in the first. Now we'll face the Chatham DH in Schubert, who homered in the first inning against the Doors back at the Gov a couple of days ago on Saturday. This time takes a called strike as O'Toole starts him off with a backdoor breaking ball. It's 0-1. O'Toole working back from the windup again. The strike one gets a swing and a miss. And it's quickly 0-2.
Yeah, Zach, that baseball got out in a hurry. That 3-run shot in the first inning got the A's right out and going from the all-star, the Chatham A's here in Nolan Schubert.
The 0-2 from O'Toole bounces in, spiked it in front of home plate. And another batter gets to see another pitch for Chatham, and Schubert working a 1-2 count. Just 9 pitches in that first inning for O'Toole as well. Both guys have been very efficient. 1-2. Downstairs, another changeup laid off by Schubert, and it's 2-2.
Just looking for that swing and miss that you got to make it 0-2. Obviously making better of it to leave it downstairs in Schubert, but now you might have to go after him.
2-2, hit back up the middle, fielded on a couple of hops by Keelan behind second base. The throw to McGregor retires him. 1 up, 1 down in this second.
Looks like the slider there, partner, just able to just kind of get the end of the bat off of it right at Gavin Keelan there. Wasn't hit all that hard. Able to make a routine throw. Help O'Toole out to get that first leadoff man that he's seen so far out in the first try.
That is something that the Doors have struggled with over the last few games, retiring the leadoff hitter in innings. Now they'll see Tyler Wolford for the first time this season, and on the first pitch he sees, he sends one to second. Bazana moving to his left, retires him for out number 2.
Going against the shift there, trying to send one the other way towards a wide open second base hole, but the problem was he didn't get all of it on that pitch. Bazana, who's playing about 10 feet or so off the bag at second, he's got a long run over there into the area that's probably split right down the middle between first and second base, and able to make a play there on the first pitch of that at-bat.
Now Xavier Casarilla takes a fastball at the knees for a called strike. He had the biggest swing of the game the last time these two teams played at Veterans Field. It was a 2-run shot in the 5th. They got Chatham on the board. This time breaks his bat, pops it up first base side. McGregor with a sliding catch for out number 3. O'Toole works another efficient inning. Finds himself needing just 8 pitches to retire the side in the second. We're scoreless through 2 between the Doors and the Anglers. This is your home for Falmouth Commodores baseball. Both pitchers, 6 up, 6 down, through 2. See if the Doors can get the offense going here in the 3rd. Gavin Keelan leads it off. It's Keelan, Humphreys, and Tracy. 3 straight left-handed hitters to greet the righty and Carson Pierce. Needed just 22 pitches through the first 2 frames. Keelan tries to lay one down, pops it up towards the Chatham dugout. It's 0-1.
Yeah, Zach, looking at the Chatham A's slayer right here. 4 runs driven in the 3 games so far against the A's. Across a nice line of 7 for 10.
Takes low and in and evens it up at 1-1. Keelan has definitely swung the bat well. 4 of those 7 hits doubles, including 3 in one game against Chatham back at Gov Fuller Field. takes upstairs on the fastball, and it's quickly 2-1. Infield playing Keelan straight up. A lot of his hits and a lot of his doubles have been the other way. Recent hot streak helped him earn an all-star nod. The 2-1. Line drive is pulled in to right field for a base hit, and you mentioned it, but Keelan stays out. That's 8 for 11 now against Chatham on the summer, and he stands at first base, the Doors' first base runner of the ball game.
It's a fastball down. Looks to be like it was that sinker again, working away from the lefty, and he's still able to get his barrel ahead of the baseball there and line it sharply into right. That's very difficult to do. Gavin Keelan with a really good piece here, and some of the most hard contact we've seen in a little bit from this Falmouth group.
Here comes Nate Humphreys. He takes upstairs to start off ahead in the count. It's 1-0. Keelan does have pretty good speed over at first base. He's already swiped 3 bags this summer. Working from the stretch now for the first time. Pierce delivers just low, and it's quickly 2-0. Couple of really close misses, though. But Humphreys will take it. He's got a hitter's count. Been quite hot and cold this summer for the Doors. But when he's been hot, he's been really hot. Sends it back to the screen on the 2-0. Tried to jump on that fastball outside, and instead finds himself with a 2-1 count. Keelan with a 3-step lead off of first, being held on by Will Hoyt. Humphreys hunches over from the left side in that stance. 2-1, chopped off his foot, and he hits the deck before spinning himself back up. And he'll have to take a walk because he's got to get himself ready for a 2-2 pitch upcoming.
Yeah, those hurt. They sting for a little bit. He's kind of got to let it wear off a little bit right off of him. It was that fastball. That one appeared to be the straight four-seam, though, on that pitch. Just right off his, appears to be his front lead foot there, his right foot. But as you mentioned, Zach, 2-0, 2-2 now.
Check over to Keelan at first, who dives back in without a tag. The Doors making Pierce work a little more this inning. This will be the 31st pitch of the outing, and it's a slider high and outside. Humphreys works the count full.
He's had such a good feel for the sinker. Kind of surprised he goes with a different pitch there against the 8-man in the Falmouth order. And Nate Humphreys here tries to go with that slider, as you mentioned, and now you got a full count.
Here's the 3-2. Swing and a miss. Pulls the string, punches him out to retire the side.
Got him in there on a pitch over the middle. I mean, it's a tough cut. He goes back to the pitch he likes so much, quickens it up a little bit. And Humphreys goes back. I mean, relatively solid at bat for the most part. Sees a lot of pitches, and all you can do there is make mental note of it and try to do damage on the ones that you get in the zone there next time you come up.
Now Tab Tracy steps in. Takes high and outside on the first pitch. Pierce starting to lose that control that he was so dialed in with in those first 2 innings. Tracy trying to keep himself going. Had a pair of hits yesterday. 2 for 4 effort. Back in the lineup for the second straight night in that 9 spot. Slices one on top of the Chatham dugout on the 1-0, and we're even. He's hit really well against right-handed pitchers this summer. Trying to jump on another one here in Pierce. Keelan continuing with that pretty big lead over at first base. Has not been on the move yet. John Spikerman stands on deck. Tracy lines one to second. A leaping grab by Caden Kent at short. For the second out of the inning, Keelan able to get back to first base. A good swing from Tracy, but it finds a glove.
Well, that's what you're supposed to do when you hit the ball well. You take it right over the shortstop's head. That's what hitting coaches tell you 10 out of 10 times. That's what a lot of them will say. Well, that one was headed there, except Caden Kent made a leaping grab. That one gets down with the way that one jumped off the bat, Zach. You'd like to think Gavin Keelan could maybe have had a chance to go first to third.
Now John Spikerman steps in. Doors trying to avoid stranding that leadoff single. Still at first base. Fastball outside to Spikerman. Makes it 1-0. He He was called out on strikes to start off the ball game in the top of the first against his collegiate teammate. Now getting another crack at him here. Takes a called strike. This one catches the edge with that sinker and makes it 1-1.
He's got a real good feel for it right now, especially away from the left-handed bats. In this situation, Spike from the left side as a switch hitter. If you get the outside third black like that, you can live there.
1-1, rolled over to second. Martin Grudzelanek flips it over to Will Hoyt to retire the side. Falmouth gets a leadoff single, but nothing more in the top of the third. Still no score. Doors and Anglers. Evan O'Toole back to the mound. A pitcher's duel brewing in Chatham. Scoreless. Headed to the bottom of the third. Kyson Donahue will step up. Evan O'Toole's faced the minimum through his first 2 innings. Trying to keep that going into this third inning as the Hawaii Rainbow Warrior in Kyson Donahue digs in from that left side. O'Toole from the wind. First pitch swinging. Donahue pops it foul out of play. And O'Toole starts off ahead in the count. Donahue, 3 seasons at Arizona before heading back home to Hawaii. He's a Honolulu native. 294 average with the Rainbow Warriors this summer. Takes outside on the changeup from O'Toole. Evens up the count at 1-1. O'Toole's been comfortable from that windup today. Goes back into the motion, the 1-1. Gets a swing and a miss. Goes right back to the changeup, this time more over the plate. Donahue swings through it. 1 ball, now 2 strikes.
Yeah, we saw that pitch, Zach, in the previous at-bat in the second inning. More down. You got to be careful with that one if you leave it up.
1-2, hit on the ground towards second base. Bazzana with a pump on it. He didn't get it out cleanly, and Donahue beats it out.
I mean, that's a tough play all day. I mean, running into the backhand there, it's not hit all that hard there. Pretty tight to second base. That's the only reason Bazzana even gets a chance to put the backhand on it. Yes, kind of fumbled the transition there a little bit, but I think that's going to be a base hit all day.
They do rule it an infield single for Kyson Donahue. The Doors had a leadoff single in the top of the third. Left him standing on first base. Now Kyson Donahue is there for Chatham, and O'Toole runs a first pitch sinker in on the hands of Hudson White, who's able to back out of the way. It's 1-0. McGregor holding on Donahue over at first base. He creeps off the bag. Did not have a single stolen base this season at Hawaii. And this summer, yet to take one either. Hudson White has had a rough start to the season with Chatham. Hits one on the ground to Bazzana. He was moving towards first base, so his only play is to get White at first and moves up the runner. But White is retired for out number 1.
Zach, you said it yesterday. Anytime you make a mistake, even though it's not an error on Bazana in the previous ground ball, the ball, you still get found when you come into the ball game. There, Bazana gets a second chance at it. He's had a couple of those 4-3 putouts or being on the receiving end of a double play there, the 6-4-3 from Martin Grudzelanek back in the first. He's getting a workout over there already, but now you have 2 outs, got to strand that runner in scoring position standing there in Kyson Donahue.
Here's Trace Wilhoit. Takes up and in. First pitch changeup from O'Toole. Swings through that pitch and evens it up at 1-1. O'Toole working from the stretch. Go ahead run for Chatham in scoring position in Donahue at second. Wilhoit slaps one foul off the lights. Heads up, that's coming back down towards the concessions area. At Veterans Field, they're lucky that didn't hit inside of a light and break some glass.
Not the type of weather precipitating that you'd like to see here at Veterans Field.
1-2, misses low with the fastball. Even it up 2 balls and 2 strikes to Wilhoit. Lipscomb Bison standing in. Couple looks back to second. The break even from O'Toole is skied out to deep right field. Tracy back on the track, and he'll make the catch again. Donahue moves up to third. So the go-ahead run just 90 feet away for Chatham, but now 2 outs.
Yeah, that one's just sent out into the opposite field. Appeared to be the changeup on that one that just got skied out there into right. Tab makes that play, has a big throw back in. Tab's been getting a workout the last couple of games, whether it's diving catches out in the outfield like we saw in Hyannis yesterday, now a couple back to the track. That's a good, needed second out.
They'll have to get the third against Caden Kent. Takes just outside from Evan O'Toole to start things off. It's 1-0. O'Toole lifts the leg. 1-0. Chopped back to the screen. Went downstairs with the changeup. Just getting a piece of it was Kent. It's 1-1.
That's been his pitch today. Been real impressed with the swings and misses and even chop foul balls that we've seen on that offering.
The 1-1. Hit on the ground, back to O'Toole on the mound. He'll run it over, underhand flip to McGregor in time to retire the side. Chatham gets a man to third. That's the farthest we've seen a base runner so far through 3. We're scoreless. You are listening to Falmouth Commodores Baseball on the Commodores Radio Network. Head to the fourth, a third of this way through this game, and we're still scoreless. Travis Bazzana takes the first pitch just below the knees on the sinker to start him off. It's 1-0. This looks really similar to the last time these two teams played here, Matt, when the Doors were retired the first 19 times before finding their way onto the base paths, and it was a eventual 4-1 win for Chatham. This time, Falmouth with a hit already, but nothing more. Bazzana fouls back the 1-0 over the heart of the plate, and it evens it up at 1-1.
Obviously, it's good to get the hit out of the way here. You don't have that kind of on your back the rest of this game.
1-1, sent foul towards the Commodores dugout. Bazzana, we mentioned the hit streak halted yesterday, but he still had himself quite a summer to this point, a .325 average, trio of home runs, and the team lead with 15 RBIs to this point in the summer. Working from the wind, the 1-2. Runs inside, just brushes back Bazzana a little bit. It's 2-2. Bazzana angles that bat downward over his shoulder. Talked to him about that earlier. Talked about just trying to cue his posture and keep himself straight. 2-2, fastball just low, and Bazzana works it full. Infield deep, all across the diamond. Slightly shading Bazzana to pull. 3-2 is hit hard out to left center. Long run out there for McDonald, and he'll pull it in with a hand on the wall for out number 1.
Zach had a feeling that one was going to go. Bazzana all over it. 96 off the bat the other way into left center. You got to take it probably about 380 from where that one came down. It's 385 straight away here at Veterans Field, but obviously room for McDonald there. Again, a couple of balls that look like they're going to get out, and then you see whether it's Tab Tracy or Zach McDonald, have enough room there, camping in front of the warning track to make that play.
Here's Kyle DeBarge, who takes first pitch hitter for a called strike. The Doors third baseman grounded out to Martin Grudzalanek at second, back in the first inning. Now getting his second crack at Carson Pierce, who's spinning a real nice debut for the A's. Breaking ball low, evens it up at 1-1.
Yanked that one a little bit, didn't get a good feel for it. Probably the first slider we've seen from him not really be all that contestable.
1-1 goes back to the fastball, just a touch off the plate. Outside, a tight but consistent zone so far for Mike Lum. 2-1 count to DeBarge. Cade Snell will follow him. If anyone reaches, Tyler McGregor will come up in this inning. 2-1, high chopper to third, fielded on a hop. Long throw across the diamond on the run from Casarilla. Retires DeBarge for out number 2.
Just got him to chop a fastball there, jammed Kyle DeBarge a little bit there, and wasn't really all that routine. Casarella's coming in, and by the time he releases that baseball, Zach, he's past the infield start of the trim of the grass there at third base. He's got a weird angle there, side-arming it across his body. Not much of a stretch either from Wilhoit. That was a really good throw on what looked to be relatively routine, even though it wasn't.
Now Cade Snell steps in, takes the first pitch down below the knees to start off ahead in the count. Carson Pierce, in his debut for Chatham, has impressed. This is pitch number 50 for the Oklahoma Sooner, and it's a called strike. Fastball catches the outside corner to even it up. A ball and a strike to Snell, headed to Alabama for next season. Started his college career at Auburn before going to Wallace Community College. Shoots one the other way, foul. And just like that, it's 1-2.
Just getting ahead with that sinker. Again, away from these lefties. The only guy that's gotten ahead of it was Gavin Keelan, pulling that one for the only hit of the game. Other than that, it's been really successful for Pierce.
Swings through it. On the slider, Snell goes down on strikes. 5th punch out. Through 4 innings for Carson Pierce, he's dealing. Evan O'Toole trying to keep up with him on the other side of the break. No score between the Doors and the Anglers from Veterans Field. It's been all pitchers to this point in the game. 7 half innings, 7 zeros on the scoreboard out in left field at Veterans Field in Chatham. The Doors and the Anglers going at it. This is the third game in the last 48 hours for Chatham as they have really had it going. They had a game last night against Wareham. They played 10 in that game. Then they played 9 this morning or this afternoon at 1 o'clock. Now into the bottom of the fourth of game 2 of the day for the Chatham Anglers. Taking low is Bryce Martin Grudzalanek to start off his second AB against Evan O'Toole. He grounded into a double play back in the first. Now starts ahead 2-0 as the slider misses low and out. And O'Toole falling behind. Longest outing of the summer, 4 innings for the Oklahoma Sooner. He's thrown just 33 pitches, now 34. And it's a fastball low. Martin Grudzalanek way ahead at 3-0. O'Toole trying to battle back in the count. Working from the wind. The 3-0 delivery. Fastball called strike at the letters. Gets himself back into the count. It's 3-1.
Yeah, good helpful frame job there from Luke Heyman. Trackman says it was in, but right at the top of the zone.
3-1 shot back to the screen. Now we're full. Speaking of framing, they just came out today with the wins by frame kind of metric that they have, and Walker Yannick well above the rest of the field. They said that he saves 32 strikes a game for the Doors. Ground ball to Bazana. Flip over to first in time. O'Toole battles back to retire Grudzalanek. 32 more than the average catcher. That just tells you how well he's been behind the plate at framing and picking up pitches that you don't always win. Kind of a lost art and a dying art in baseball is framing, but Walker Yannick, one of the best out there doing it.
No, it's a good metric to have. It's good. It's one that certainly plays in terms of involvement and importance down the line.
Fastball called strike on that outside edge to start off Zach McDonald.
Personally, it was something I thought I was relatively solid at back in my day.
0-1 upstairs. Evens it up to McDonald, a ball and a strike.
But it's important. It really is. I mean, you gotta be smooth. You gotta be quiet back there. Yannick, one of the very best nationally. Now he's here with the Doors.
Big swing and a miss. Took something off that one at 85. It's 1-2. Infield playing McDonald to pull. He hit one the other way really hard. Tab Tracy took away a home run from him back in the first. Now a strikeout here in the fourth. O'Toole heads him back to the dugout. First strikeout of the outing for Evan O'Toole, and the first two retired in the bottom of the fourth.
Well, we mentioned O'Toole puts the ball in play but gets out. I mean, I look at my lineup card here and I'm like, hang on, there aren't any other Ks here. Yes, you're right. That's the first strikeout today, and that's okay. A lot of it's been weak contact. You get the chopper right back to him. There's a couple of pop-outs, a lot of 4-3 ground ball outs to Travis Bazana. Evan O'Toole's playing just as well as Pierce on the other side, just a different type of baseball pitcher.
Fires in a strike to start Nolan Schubert. Grounded out to Gavin Keelan. The lead off the bottom of the second. Now comes to work here in the fourth. O'Toole cruising in that windup. Misses outside. Evens it up at 1-1, but still just 41 pitches to this point from Evan O'Toole. Working extremely efficiently for the Doors. The 1-1. Upstairs, and he's behind in the count 2-1.
Yeah, partner, we talk about both these teams playing a lot of baseball. This is game 8 of 11 straight for Falmouth. Meanwhile, a lot of baseball for Chatham with all the cancellations. It gets to be an arms battle. Got to keep your guys fresh.
Schubert pops one up, just catches the top of the netting. Almost was coming for you, Matt. You've been begging for a baseball all summer, and that was probably the closest you're going to get.
Needed another 1.5 feet or so. The netting just barely keeping that one in play. But you appreciate starts like this where guys are low in their pitch count and they're just smooth sailing.
The 2-2. Hit on the ground and into right field, the base hit. Schubert got out in front of that fastball and pulled it through the hole between first and second. And a 2-out single keeps the inning alive for Chatham.
Yeah, O'Toole shows us his sinker there. It's a good spot. It's down in the zone. But you get Schubert, the big lefty, to get down and pull that baseball again, getting the barrel out in front. both these pitchers are having good command and really controlling their pitches well in terms of whether it's the four-seam fastball or the sinker. That one right there, no different than what we've seen from Carson Pierce. That was sort of a mere replica of Gavin Keelan's. His was more on a line, but in terms of getting out in front of that pitch, that's what Schubert just did.
Another Oklahoma State Cowboy stepping in Tyler Wolford. Had himself a real good year in Stillwater. 327 average for the Cowboys. 17 doubles, 9 long balls. He can swing it. Takes the first pitch inside. Breaking ball starts him off. It's 1-0.
Just mixing up the approach a little bit, just showing something else. That slider there, not able to get it back over the middle, ran a little too far inside.
O'Toole staggers the feet slightly as he comes set, lifts the leg, gets away from Luke Heyman. Schubert cruises up to second, and a man in scoring position for the second straight inning for Chatham. Anglers stranded 12 last night at Wareham and stranded another good number today. The Doors trying to add to that stranded base runners total for Chatham in this inning, with Schubert standing at second base. A 2-0 count to Tyler Wolford. Caught on and missed. Went to the breaking ball low and outside. Gets himself back into the count, 2-1.
Well, you just saw him yank that slider that was a pass ball, and Luke Heyman goes back to it and puts it in the spot where he wanted that first one to be anyways, and you get the swing and miss. Good confident pitch there from O'Toole.
2-1 just outside, tried to go back to it. Falling behind 3-1, first base is open. With 2 outs, see if he goes right at Wolford. Xavier Casarella stands on deck. A couple of right-handed hitters in a row against the righty and O'Toole. Rocks himself set at the belt. 3-1. Chopper on the ground, third base side. O'Toole fields it, stops, fires, and throws it away. That's going to bring in a run. Schubert comes in to score. O'Toole maybe tried to do a little too much on that one. Would have taken a heroic effort to get the runner at first. Instead, compounds the errors, and Chatham's on the board.
It's so tough because you deliver the right pitch. It's the sinker down, like we've been talking about both these firearms and doing, and you get a dribbler down the line. That's what you want. Really good effort by O'Toole to field that cleanly on the backhand, and he settled down his base. His lower half was settled in the grass. I personally don't mind that throw over, Zach. I know you could just eat it and keep the situation on the corners.
Called strike starts off Casarilla. It's just such a tough throw because his momentum is moving away from it, and it's not a throw that a pitcher is used to making.
That's the thing. They don't make it that often, yet because you settle yourself down a little bit, as long as you just deliver it on target, worst case is that he beats it out and it's an infield hit. Unless you throw it, right? So that's the only thing that is the downside, is that you throw it away. But again, if you deliver a good throw on target there, McGregor, even with his stretch, it's a close play. You keep him on the corners instead of the error that now brings in a run.
Pitch misses to Casarilla to even it up at 1-1. Now fires fastball low and outside. It's 2-1. Casarilla popped out to Tyler McGregor to end the second. Now up here with 2 outs in the fourth in a 1-0 game. Anglers in front. Just outside. And just like that, it's another hitter's count, 3-1. O'Toole was cruising on the pitches and now has thrown more pitches so far in the outing than Carson Pierce, which wasn't close coming into this inning. 3-1, catches the zone, the outside edge, and runs it full.
Zach, the reason for that is all the strikeouts we've seen from Pierce. He's had to work later in counts versus O'Toole getting pretty good contact early in counts to get outs.
The payoff pitch. Soft line drive, sinking into center field, a base hit. Wolford cruises around second into the third, and they're on the corners.
That's a fastball over the plate. That's a sinker there that does not get where you want it to be. There is a righty. You're trying to get that one off the plate a little bit, and it just didn't really have that sink there to the bottom right corner of that tic-tac-toe board if you look at the strike zone. And just like that, Xavier Casarella makes no mistake. Standing there in the right-handed box, just kind of flips one out there as it's coming in on his hands. down in the zone, and because it's not hit hardly, that's why you get first to third there on a ball that's in center field.
And here is Kyson Donahue. He singled in the third. Single here would really help for Chatham. O'Toole trying to shut it down. Fastball sent back to the screen to start him off. It's 0-1. That run against O'Toole to this point is unearned. Donahue angling that bat over the left shoulder. O'Toole with a long hold at the belt. 0-1, cut on and missed, chasing the changeup down. And quickly O'Toole's ahead in the count, 0-2. Trying to get through this inning and keep the deficit to 1. 1 run on 5 hits for Chatham so far. No runs on just 1 hit for the Doors. O'Toole gives a look over to first base at Casarilla. The 0-2, swing and a miss. Punches out Donahue and escapes the jam, but not before Chatham gets on the board. It's 1-0, Anglers in front, headed to the 5th. Tyler McGregor leads it off for Falmouth in the top of the 5th, trying to get that run back. Trailing 1-0. Here as Carson Pierce continues to deal for Chatham. Starts off Tyler McGregor with a called strike. First pitch fastball, and it's 0-1. McGregor having a quick conversation with Mike Lum after that one. Didn't love it, but he'll step back in. Big lefty pulled a ground ball to first in his last AB. That fastball from Pierce is spiked down at the plate, and it's 1-1. Gregor with that wide open stance from the left side. Pierce, the righty in the windup, third base side. Fastball upstairs, popped back out of play, and it's 1-2. Just 52 pitches through 4 innings of work for Carson Pierce, definitely helping the Chatham arms problem with how many games they've got in such a short period of time. Pierce trying to go as deep as he can into this one. The 1-2 to McGregor. Hit hard on the ground to first again, and Will Hoyt this time will flip it over, and McGregor is called out. That was tight, but they just get him.
Yeah, McGregor, a long, slow walk back after that one. I don't think he liked that call, Zach, but that sinker got some plate. I mean, that was left over the middle of the plate. McGregor hits it sharply. It's tough when the ball's down like that to get it up in the air, so that's why it's hit so sharply and down to a knee. Will Hoyt has to make that play. But even for the big first baseman, he's still going to try to leg that out. We've seen him turn the legs on a little bit.
And it probably should not have been as close as it was. Pierce was a little slow getting it off. Heyman skies one to shallow left off the end of the bat on the first pitch. And it's run down by Carson Donahue. 2 up, 2 down once again. Pierce working towards yet another 1-2-3 inning. Just one base runner for Falmouth to this point in the game. And that one-run deficit coming in on the air really hurts right now for the Doors.
Absolutely, but you mentioned off the end of the bat, slider there running off the outer third. That's why it's there.
One hit so far is Gavin Keelan's. He fouls back the first pitch as he steps in for the second time against Pierce. 0-1 count to the Falmouth shortstop. Pierce works very quickly. He's right back onto the mound and right back into the motion. 0-1 outside, evens it up. One thing that Falmouth has done pretty well over the last few games is get 2 out base runners on, but those 2 out base runners are tougher to bring around. The 1-1 to Keelan. Hit on the ground softly to second. Grudzelanek with a flip over to first, and just like that, a fourth 1-2-3 inning in 5 attempts from Carson Pierce. The Doors are scoreless through their 5 ABs in the first 5 innings. Chatham coming up in the bottom of the 5th. Evan O'Toole coming out for the bottom of the 5th. Face Hudson White, Trace Wilhoit, and Caden Kent. 8-9-1 in the order for Chatham. Working on a 1-0 lead over Falmouth here in the bottom of the 5th. First pitch swinging. Skies it to shallow left. Gavin Keelan on the run with an over-the-shoulder grab. 1 pitch, 1 out for O'Toole.
After a long inning, Zach, that's a good way to respond. You get that first pitch out, getting him to get jammed on that one for White, especially going up against 8-9-1. If you can have Caden Kent come back up for the 3rd time today with 2 out, that's a good situation. You want to keep your team in this ball game if you're O'Toole, and more importantly, flush that inning that had that error come in to score.
Trace Wilhoit steps in. He takes first pitch, breaking ball low, and it's 1-0. Parker Coyle is up and warming for the Doors in the bullpen. O'Toole from the wind. Chopper to third. DeBarge backing up. Now settles himself. And a strong throw retires Wilhoit by a step. 2 up, 2 down on just 3 pitches for O'Toole.
There's that changeup. Got a chopper right there. Kyle DeBarge is playing relatively deep back there on the pole side there with Wilhoit, the righty. That was one of the longer throws I've seen across a diamond there from where he settled his feet to deliver the strike. Makes it easy there for McGregor. No pick needed, just a stretch. And you've done the job. You now present the leadoff man up with 2 away.
Now here comes Caden Kent. Swings through a changeup on the first pitch at 82 miles an hour, and it's 0-1. Kent singled in the first, grounded out back to O'Toole in the 3rd. Takes outside on the 0-1, evens things up. Caden Kent One of 3 All-Stars for this Chatham team comes up empty on the 1-1. Out of Texas A&M, he joins Nolan Schubert and Aiden Jimenez on the All-Star team on the east side for Chatham. All-Star game coming up on Saturday night at White House Field in Harwich. O'Toole, couple of shakes from Heyman. The wind and the 1-2. Sliced foul down the left field line. We'll get another 1-2. It's a beautiful night for baseball in Chatham. Talk about baseball skies all around the Cape League. This is one of the best of them tonight as the sun sets behind left field. The 1-2. High and outside. Kent continues to battle, and he's worked it even. Kent bounces that bat off the left shoulder. 2-2, hit on the ground the other way, past an outstretched arm of DeBarge and into left field, a base hit. Another 2-out single keeps an inning alive. The same situation happened in the last inning where O'Toole got 2 quick outs, then gave up 3 straight hits.
That's what I was just going to say is it's tough to get the leadoff man out anytime in an inning, whether it's with 1 out, 2 out, but Caden Kent's up there at the top of the order for a reason. Just chops one down there, the third base line. Tough play for DeBarge on the backhand, just kind of squeaks on through into left. But as you mentioned, same situation presenting itself. How do the Doors respond to this adversity, especially with what they learned last time this situation happened?
Martin Grudzelanek ropes one out into left center. Long run for Spikerman. He can't get to it. It's off the wall. Spikerman coming up throwing. They're waving him around third. The relay from Keelan is not in time as the ball pops out of the glove of Heyman. He tried to catch it and put the tag on Caden Kent. And Kent's slide knocked the ball out of Heyman's glove. It's an RBI double. And the Chatham dugout quickly out to argue here. Caden Kent is not happy. He took exception to Luke Heyman where he was standing when he was trying to catch that ball on the baseline. And he's very much not happy.
Well, between the matter of 2 pitches, now it's another run in the inning. And we saw right there, Caden Kent, just a dribbler, kind of tough play for DeBarge. Now this time, this fastball is absolutely tattooed. It looked to be the sinker running middle, and you can't throw that against Martin Grudzelanek out at USC. Hit over 300 this year, drove in 42 runs, adds a total to his Chatham numbers here this summer. That one's off the top of the wall in left center on a line. I mean, that thing was just, and then it dies at the wall for Spikerman. Keelan's throw just a little bit high. It was close.
First pitch swinging by McDonald, fouls it back. The throw from Spikerman wasn't spectacular. A couple of bounces into Keelan may have made the difference there.
Yeah, the fact that he was able to field it on that short hop and still get off a throw, that's why I think it's a little bit high on Keelan having to get it out quickly, yet it was still a very, very close play at the plate.
0-1 breaks away from the plate. Heyman with a nice backhand pick to keep it from getting to the backstop. 2-0 Chatham. Both runs have come across with 2 outs, 1 in each of the last 2 frames. As after 2 quick outs between the 2 innings, 5 consecutive hits, 3 and then 2 between the 2 innings. Breaks inside. It's 2-1 to McDonald. 0 for 2, a flyout and a strikeout so far. Works himself set from the stretch. 2-1, runs in, bounces away, and they're going to say it hit McDonald. So he'll walk on down to first, and for the second straight inning, 3 straight anglers have reached after 2 quick outs.
Yeah, Zach, I think that's the right call. Looked to just be that 4-seam fastball running in on the elbow guard there. The batter and Zach McDonald, and not the guy you want to have a chance here with runners on, especially since the inning's been extended with 2 out now for Schubert.
And here comes Mike Landry. There is a lefty in coil warming in the pen. We'll see if Landry makes the move and goes and gets Evan O'Toole. No call just yet, but Parker Coyle has been outstanding as of late. He's definitely a guy that you would like to see get the ball at some point in this game.
Yeah, especially with the way he's been throwing the baseball. I mean, he's been really, really good. But the difference, though, the hits have skyrocketed. Already 3 in this inning. You had believe 2 or 3 in the previous inning. Entering the 4th inning, there are only 2 hits for Chatham, just 1 for the Doors. It still stands up there right now. They figured something out this second time through the order, and that's kind of been the difference here.
Landry heads back to the dugout. O'Toole will remain in the game to face Nolan Schubert.
Yeah, just trying to calm him down here, just find that last out, as you mentioned. And, you pitched him well. It was a 2-2 ground ball out to Gavin Keelan last time, but the changeup on the 0-1, I remember specifically in that at-bat, because it starts low, ends up down. Big power back tries to golf that one out there down the right field line. Let's see how he approaches Schubert in this at-bat.
Starts him off with the first pitch at the knees for a called strike. It's 0-1. Leans in and gets the sign from Heyman. Schubert, that big, tall presence from the left-handed batter's box. Takes a big swing and slices the 0-1 foul. O'Toole in complete control of this AB. It's 0-2.
Yeah, 2 fastballs there. Goes with the heater on both of them. No sink action to that one, just showing a different look. He hasn't used this pitch the majority of the time that he's gone with the fastball. You could argue either of the 4 that he throws could go here, but I don't think it's a good idea to throw 3 fastballs in a row to Nolan Schubert.
The 0-2 is crushed but pulled foul down the first base line, and another 0-2 upcoming.
Zach, that's a slider, and that's why you don't throw the fastball there, again, 3 times in a row. Just out in front of it, pulled it. I mean, I think that's the pitch Schubert was looking for and just had to swing out in front of it just to stay alive and see another pitch.
We'll see where O'Toole goes here as he gets the sign from Heyman. Couple looks back to Martin Grudzelanek at second. Delivers the 0-2. Fastball upstairs, fouled back out of play. And yet another 0-2 upcoming.
Zach, the Chatham A's have the double steal on right there in that situation there. 0-2, you're expecting a hittable pitch. That's what you got there with another fastball that sent foul. But obviously sensing a situation here where a base hit certainly probably brings in Grudzelanek there at second. But that man in motion, anything through, you might be able to get the trail runner as well.
Another 0-2. This one down in the dirt. Went off speed, and it's 1-2.
That's a good decision there. You have 4 strikes basically to start. 2 of them count, obviously, and then 2 foul balls. So you're just trying to just show a pitch, see if he chases. Trust Luke Heyman to keep it in front of him, to keep the base runners at second and first. Good decision there to mix in a different look.
Rocks himself set. Grudzelanek dancing at second. The 1-2 bounces away from Heyman. He'll throw down to first to try to backpick him, and they got him. Martin Grudzelanek took third. McDonald got a little too far off of first base. A strong throw from Heyman. McGregor slaps on the tag. And they strand that runner in scoring position, but Chatham gets one across. It's 2-0 Anglers through 5 innings in Chatham. Matt Venezia will have the play-by-play for you on the other side of the break. You are listening to Falmouth Commodores Baseball.
Top of the 6th inning here at Veterans Field. Chatham A's hosting the Falmouth Commodores. Last time these two will see each other in the regular season. With the A's on top 2-0 entering this 6th frame. Matt Venezia, Zach Serdenik. No Destiny Sanchez today. Just the two of us have it for you tonight here on the road in Chatham. The Doors have 8-9-1 due up. Nate Humphreys leading it off from the left-handed batter's box here. Still out there, Carson Pierce. First offerings chopped the opposite way to the left. Tough eat up there over at short for Caden Kent. Almost kind of scooped it to himself and over his head. Not the way he drew it up. Would have to imagine that could be ruled an infield hit. It appears that it has. The second hit of the day awarded to the Doors pretty unconventionally, but you'll take it in response to the 2 innings we've seen in a row from Chatham.
That's a tough play for Kent, coming to his right on the charge and trying to scoop that one out of the dirt and flip it across. Would have been really close with Humphreys' speed down that line from the left-handed batter's box, but either way, he ends up at first base.
The only good part about being down 2 runs in a ball game is a bloop and a blast away from the tie. Now Tam Tracy in there. Shows bunt on the fastball and sends it straight back to the screen.
He blasted that bunt almost over the screen.
That he did.
That's not the kind of blast you're looking for, though.
No, definitely similar exit velo, just the other way. That was a joke.
I was going to say, I don't know that exit velo is doing much. I mean, that's the same exit velo Humphreys just had on a single, but...
Change up here, chops it foul. Did Tracy back towards the dugout of Falmouth. Getting some groans and moans over by the Doors dugout. They may have caught somebody. Not quite sure who it was. Everyone seems to be okay.
I think it might have caught the pitch clock timer. That's the only thing I can really think of back there that it might have caught.
Nonetheless, it's 0-2 from the righty. Carson Pierce working out of the stretch with Humphrey still at first. The offering, fastball up and in. Surrendering his hands out of the way there was Tam Tracy, who looks back at his baseball bat. Waggles it forward, adjusts his helmet, and now gets ready to go for the 1-2. Humphreys extending the primary lead by what appears to be 2.5 steps. Pierce, shoulder down here, set at the bell. Lifts the leg and fires. It's a breaking pitch sent screaming foul once again. And we'll keep going here, 1-2.
Good battle from Tab. Just staying alive and continuing to fight. That's what the Doors need right now. Just find a way to battle, chip into this deficit. See if you can get back even.
The Doors trying to get themselves out of the schneid a little bit. Losers of 3 of the last 4 after a consecutive run of 11 of 14 for Falmouth. The offering, pulling the string, and it's chopped straight back foul.
Really nice job by Tracy to get a piece of it. He was way out in front. He was lunging forward. And the hand-eye coordination to just get enough to stay alive.
Tam Tracy, to this point in the season, better than a .290 hitter down there in the 9th spot for the Doors. Been used pretty well out and right or left and even center at times. This fastball runs a little bit inside. The hottest we've seen from Pierce inside for a ball at 92. Looked relatively solid up here, but that's a good take from Tab. Looking in for the sign behind the plate from Hudson White. Gets it, and now Pierce comes set. Big spot for the Doors here in the inning. The offering, wave and a miss. Ugly swing from Tab Tracy. Wasn't expecting that heater on the outer third, and that's the first out.
You don't usually see this many strikeouts from a guy who's got a really good sinker like Pierce does. You see a lot more ground balls than strikeouts, but he's been working all of his pitches really well.
That's 6 now for the righty, making his season debut today out of Oklahoma for a group in the Chatham A's trying to save their arms. Getting a really good effort now, already 1 out into the 6th inning. John Spikerman back to the top of the order against his teammate from school. Watches that one miss for a ball.
It's dangerous to leave a guy out for a 3rd time through the order in this league, though. These hitters are so talented, especially when you've got guys like Spikerman and Bazana at the top of this order that can really do damage.
Spike trying to make him pay here. Wave and a miss. Got the fastball again there. Came up empty, and Spike has an even count now. Spikerman officially now 2 for 14 this season against the Chatham A's. Has an RBI to go along with that. Trying to pick up a hit here. The 1-1. Lined foul along the third base line there. Sent it the other way. And to no surprise, Pierce finds himself ahead once again in this ball game. It's 1-2.
He's been outstanding. This has been one of the best pitching performances we've seen this summer, right up there with Gabe Davis's 4 perfect innings out here the last time these two teams were here.
Yeah, the Doors have not seen the baseball incredibly well when playing as the visitor here at Veterans Field. The sun just about set here. Beautiful night for baseball under the lights here in Chatham. The 1-2, pulling the string, a wave and a miss on a pitch off the plate away from Spikerman. Back-to-back strikeouts after the leadoff base hit. Already 7 of them now for Carson Pierce, 2 away.
Just 2 base runners so far for the Doors. The leadoff single in the third was Keelan. He was left standing there, and then once again, a leadoff single here in the 6th, and with 2 outs, Humphreys still at first base.
Anytime Travis Bazzana steps in, though, you got to be aware of the amaze, and it could happen with him in the box anytime. He told me in batting practice as he takes that fastball low and in, he said, today's going to be a money game. Mark my words, is what he told me. And, well, on a full count pitch, nearly went out the opposite way. Got a lot of that baseball. Zach McDonald cruised under it just literally in front of the wall. The 1-0 to Bazzana. Watches a changeup fall a little bit low. Ahead of it in a hitter's count now, 2-0.
It's where you want to be. Because Pierce can't really throw him anything middle. That's asking for trouble.
And the way this game's going, you kind of want to understand you might not be seeing too many more chances at the plate, especially if you're Bazzana now. Got that one up, and he fouled it off over the press box here at Veterans Field. And what I mean by that, Zach, is, there's been a lot of these 1, 2, 3 innings for Pierce in this game. It could change on a dime when you go to the bullpen, but Bazzana's probably got one more plate appearance in this ball game after this one, and trailing 2, only 2 hits and 2 base runners, as you mentioned. Something's got to give. The 2-1 fastball was yanked down and in towards the back foot of Bazzana. 3-1.
I wouldn't be surprised here if they don't give Bazzana anything to hit in this spot. DeBarge has been good, but DeBarge hasn't hit the ball as hard. Today, he hasn't hurt them as much as Bazzana did with that grand slam the last time these two teams met. I think they're going to want to see the right-handed hitter in DeBarge rather than try to get back in this count to Bazzana.
The offering on the 3-1 off the outer third of the plate looked to be the slider trying to get the back door. And a nice job by Bazzana to leave it. It's a 2-out walk. The Aussie heads down to first, and now the situation the best the Doors have had all day. Second and first, 2 away, with Kyle DeBarge coming up. Marty Lees appears to be out there jogging out to talk to his righty. Could they make the move to the pen? Not yet.
There's a lefty up and throwing in the Chatham bullpen. I'd be really surprised, though, if they take Pierce out in this spot. I think you got to let him ride. There's a righty at the plate. Maybe you're telling him this your last batter and see if you can get DeBarge out, but man, he's been so good, and if you can get 6 full innings from him, you can't ask for anything more if you're Marty Lees.
I think Zach's got the game plan of the Chatham A's. Marty Lees comes back to the dugout, leaving his righty on the mound for the spot against the third baseman out of Louisiana and Kyle DeBarge. Pair of ground ball outs for DeBarge in this ball game to second and to third last time up. Kyle DeBarge didn't play in the last time these two teams saw each other on June 24th in that matchup. Meanwhile, this one gets away. It appears to be a pass ball, 90 feet for everybody, and now the situation drastically different. Third and second, 2 outs, a base hit could certainly tie this game.
That's one of those, Matt, that we've talked about a little bit where you don't get the call because the catcher didn't make the catch. That ball is going to benefit the Commodores being not called a strike because that looked really good.
Yes, it did. DeBarge did not play in the only matchup here at Veterans Field the last time the Doors were here, a 4-1 loss for Falmouth in that effort of 19 up, 19 down for the Doors in the box. DeBarge waving a miss here. Big, healthy cut there. 88 upstairs. Tried to put that one over the scoreboard here at Veterans Field, 1-1.
Yeah, his eyes got big. He saw the fastball up, and he wanted it.
Big chance here for Falmouth with a ball and a strike here, 2 away in the 6th. The offering, great block behind the plate. Hudson White just saved another run. It's a hitter's friendly opportunity, 2 balls and 1 strike.
And we talked to Cliff Pennington on the broadcast a little bit ago about Dallas Baptist, and they love to run and take advantage. Nate Humphreys saw that ball was going low. He saw it was a dirt ball, and he immediately got a big secondary lead. He was ready to go, if not for a really good block by White.
The righty comes set at the mound. The offering to DeBarge. Change up. Drops low and in. 3-1.
First base is open, but you don't want to see the cleanup hitter, Cade Snell, with him juiced.
That is Snell awaiting on deck. Would be a left on right, but would highly doubt that Pierce would stay in that part of the ball game to see Snell. Let's see if DeBarge gets something to hit. The pitch right there down the middle. Fastball, strike two. And now the count is full. Veterans Field starting to get a little bit loud here, those that are gathering, with DeBarge adjusting himself in the box. Big chance for Falmouth, trying to find its first spark of offense. Can they come through with it here? 3-2, 2 away. The pitch from Pierce, chopped foul.
Gave him a fastball up, gave him a chance, but DeBarge stays alive. This is always a really good environment at Veterans Field, and you mentioned it, Matt. They're really getting into it right now.
One of the best backdrops in baseball, paired with a crowd that's starting to clap and get on its feet a little bit. Pierce trying to use the crowd to his advantage. We'll do the 3-2 once again. The righty steps and delivers. Slider off the plate. DeBarge left it there. He'll walk on to first. There was an open base, and suddenly, back-to-back two-out walks have the bases loaded, and Marty Lays is going to make that move to the pen.
Outstanding work from Carson Pierce. Just couldn't get out of it, and one of those weird little baseball things. If all three runs came around and Falmouth took the lead here, not only would Pierce have those runs against his line, he'd be in line for the loss.
Which I wouldn't believe you if you have said that.
He has been
when we entered this
outstanding.
inning. Yes, he has. Really good outing in his debut with the Chatham A's, trying to get themselves in a situation here. The Chatham A's, with the back-to-back wins against Wareham, is now the crowd will get to its feet, saluting Carson Pierce. The Chatham A's, a win last night at Spillane Field. Earlier this afternoon in game 1 of 2 in today's doubleheader, this is the first winning streak for the Chatham A's all season long, Zach.
It is, and they're in good position to try and keep that going, but they're going to need a really good spot in a power-on-power matchup with a new pitcher.
That's right, there is the new pitcher coming out. We'll give you his numbers and all the details when we come back on the other side of the break. Big spot, bases loaded for the Doors here from Veterans Field. The lefty out of Kansas, Gavin Brzezowski, will come in. The massive spot in this ball game looming in just his third appearance now on the summer.
Yeah, just a third of an inning officially pitched for him. Struggled with the walks a little bit, but was good at Kansas on the season. 44 and 2/3 innings pitched. 32 strikeouts to just 19 walks. Big lefty-lefty matchup here with Cade Snell.
Soon to be SEC lefty and Cade Snell taking on a Big 12 matchup here in Brzezowski. Snell obviously having time at Wallace Community College, getting ready to join the Crimson Tide once this season comes to its close here this summer. But the base is fully juiced for the Falmouth Commodores. Nate Humphreys, a leadoff base hit here in this 6th inning. Then a pair of two-out walks have Bazana at second, and Kyle DeBarge, the recent victim of that, standing at first. The first offering from Brzezowski went downstairs with the changeup. Left it down there, did Snell. It's 1-0.
You want to start off ahead in the count. That's exactly what you're looking to do.
Snell, to this point, has surged to the top in terms of average for Falmouth. Still looking for enough at-bats to officially qualify, though. The 1-0 left that one right there. Fastball at the letters makes it 1-1.
Snell has reached in every game this season. He's 0 for 2 to this point. Now would sure be a good time for Falmouth cleanup hitter to find his way on base.
One of the few positives from yesterday's 10-2 loss at Hyannis, had 3 hits and an RBI in 4 trips to the plate. The 1-1 from Brzezowski, chopped foul back towards the Falmouth dugout. And the pitcher's opportunity now ahead of it there after that foul ball. A ball and 2 strikes. The only lick of offense for Falmouth to this point in this ball game coming right here with the bases fully loaded. An infield hit from Humphreys, the 2 walks with 2 away, and now Veterans Field starts to get back behind its arm. Brzezowski comes set at the belt. A long look in the glove. The pitch on the way. Slider sent along the left field line, giving chase, and it does just get in foul territory by the batting cage Turtle. It was a nice effort from Casarella to try to make a diving play. It falls down innocently, though. We'll do the 1-2 again.
Would have been a really spectacular play if Casarella could get to it, but just unable to find his way all the way there. Snell's going to get another shot. I think you're going to see 1 of 2 pitches here. You're either going to see Brzezowski try to go to that breaking ball away from the left-handed hitter, or you're going to see him elevate a fastball, try and see if Snell will chase it.
Really good numbers at Wallace Community in terms of the slugging category. 545 in that number. One of those efforts could certainly be big in this ball game. We'll do the 1-2 once again. It's a fastball up. Nearly took the head off of Cade Snell. Not a lot of control for that pitch, and it's 2-2.
Yeah, I said fastball up to see if Snell would chase it, but he's not chasing that one.
If he was, it's a defensive kind of posture there, but that would not be helpful in terms of fouling something off that was certainly not in the zone. Big spot in this ball game here at Veterans Field. Snell waits for Brzezowski to get set. Now he is lifting the leg, and the pitch chopped just foul again. Good battle brewing here from the DH of Falmouth, and even ahead of him, Kyle DeBarge, who worked that full count walk. Brzezowski, who had been warming up for a little while, pretty much from the start of this inning, Zach, now having to get into his groove here and find some strikes, but Snell certainly making him work. The continuous claps back and forth by the fans for the Chatham A's filling up here in this 6th inning. Brzezowski fires again, and it's off the plate. Good leave by Cade Snell. On the change, and it's a full count once again. Falmouth's first run of the ball game looming here on this next pitch. Ball 4 would bring in Nate Humphreys. The runners will be on the move. Full count. Bases loaded with 2 away. Cade Snell adjusts his helmet, waggles the bat back and forth, waiting for the lefty to get set up there on the hill. Brzezowski fires one in. It's a fastball lined. It gets down into right. Humphreys will score. Here comes DeBarge. Bazana getting the wave. It's cut off the play at the plate. Not in time. A bases clearing single from Cade Snell. And the Commodores leapfrog the Chatham A's here in the 6th.
What a slide from DeBarge coming in. He kind of like half slid around that tag, and he got the hand over before the tag was slapped down. Marty Lees disagrees, but Mike Lum was right on it. Just like that, Falmouth in front, and you've got a chance with Parker Coyle warming to get into your bullpen with a lead. And that really hurts for Carson Pierce, man. You feel for him because he was spectacular.
Carson Pierce involved in the decision of this ball game now, not in the victor's side because of all 3 of those runs against his name coming across from Brzezowski. First pitch now to Tyler McGregor. The Falmouth Commodores with some 2-out work of themselves here.
And that ball wasn't hit hard by Snell. It kind of jammed him and just barely got over the glove of Martin Grudzelanek at second.
Brzezowski trying to get right back to work. Fastball off the outer third away from the tall lefty in McGregor. Kicking the dirt around in the box, getting himself set there. Cade Snell now the man at first. The Doors have cleared the bases with that 3-run RBI single. Looking for a little bit more here with McGregor holding the bat over his left shoulder. Brzezowski a look to Snell at first, now offers, and he looks like he got a good call there on the changeup. Puts it back in there in the inside third, left on left, and it's 1-2. A completely different feel of this ball game now. A silent Veterans Field here after Cade Snell's efforts there in the previous at-bat. Long look into the glove. Brzezowski now comes set there from the left side of the mound. Time is called. There's going to be a pitch clock violation on Brzezowski, and that makes it now a 2-2 count.
You'll take it.
The umpires are going to call it, that's for sure. We've seen it a handful of times against Falmouth, but now it's a 2-2 spot. The offering. McGregor thought about it. It's a slider off the plate and away. It's another full count situation here, and Snell will be on the move again.
Really good ABs worked by this Falmouth team, and that's how you find success like this on a night where the bats just haven't been there before this inning.
The Doors rallying here in this 6th inning. The offering, fastball upstairs. McGregor leaves it. It's another walk. The third walk between the two arms Chatham's used today, all in this inning. That has allowed Falmouth to keep the line moving.
And all of this has come with 2 outs. There was a leadoff single for Humphreys, but he was still standing at first base. When it got to 2 outs to Bizana, and then the walk, and then another walk, and then that single, and now another walk, and just like that, you find yourself in a good spot.
Now it's Luke Heyman. First pitch, fastball up and away, never had a chance. I think the move to get Brzezowski in there is because you're not expecting him to go through those lefties without retiring one of them. And Cade Snell and Tyler McGregor. Now you get a righty in there, and a really good one at that in Luke Heyman. The Gator trying to keep the inning moving here. Waves at that one upstairs on a heater. Evens the count at a ball and a strike.
He's got a shot to really break this one open. If he can deposit a ball into the gap out there and try to add another, maybe 2 runs here, and see if you can extend upon that lead.
Brzezowski now left on right. The offering, wave and a miss. Got a cut there in back-to-back spots. That's a fastball at the belt, and Heyman couldn't get it. It's 1-2.
It's back-to-back in pretty much the same spot. He's not seeing that really well at the moment. We'll see if he can find it, though. Giving him a third to a hitter of this caliber is risky.
It's not the hottest stuff in the world either. Coming in at 88 according to TrackMan here. Brzezowski, a look at Snell dancing at second. The pitch popped a mile into the infield here. It's going to be called by the second baseman, Martin Grudzielanek. He makes the play, but not before the Falmouth Commodores put up 3 after having no signs of offense up to this point here at Veterans Field. A 3-run single gives the Doors the lead here at Veterans Field. It's now a move to the bullpen. We're going to see Parker Coyle when we come back at Veterans Field. A good arm to go to. Now that you have the lead, very different feel to this ball game. It's going to be Parker Coyle, who was very, very good in his last outing against the Bourne Braves.
You mentioned that last outing, Matt. 4 innings, no hits, 1 walk, 3 punch-outs. That'll play. Overall on the summer, 1-1 with 1 save. 14 innings pitched, giving up only 5 earned. 14 strikeouts to just 3 walks. He's been one of the best bullpen arms on the summer for the Doors, and he's trying to keep that up into this one and put up what would be a really big 0 right here.
Well, that same situation of needing 4 the rest of the way presents itself here with Coyle. First offering, fastball Check down to third. Jeff Merzell says Schubert did not go. But Coyle hasn't thrown since that Bourne Braves 4-inning effort. That was 5 days ago, so he's got a lot in the tank, you'd have to imagine here. Gives him a slider upstairs here away from the lefty, and that one's in there for a strike.
He does, and Coyle isn't a starter, but when you go 4 innings like that, it's almost like a start. So you want to give him a few days to rest, and he seems to be ready to go tonight.
Kind of yanked that changeup down and in there on that pitch. Inside to Schubert, makes it 2-1. Schubert, base hit last time, came around to score in part of that error made from Evan O'Toole on the fielded ground ball. Now this one's in there for a strike, makes it 2-2.
That was a dot on the outside corner to a pretty good hitter in Schubert.
Got to locate against the big Oklahoma State Cowboy. The offering pulls a string, left it off the plate, and it's a full count now to the first man that Parker Coyle sees out of the bullpen. Schubert, tall stance there in the left-handed box. Coyle out of the line. The pitch is ball 4. Downstairs, not the start you wanted to this inning. The tying run put back on the bases immediately.
Yeah, if you're the Doors, you have to put up a 0 here. You don't want to give up that lead right back after just getting it and just getting the offense going. Want to try and get yourself in a good spot.
That's just the first walk of the ball game that Falmouth has surrendered as a pitching staff during the run of this 4-game kind of poor streak for this Falmouth Commodores group. 19 walks over the last 4 games. Can't be giving your opponents opportunities. To the credit of the Doors, they have not today up until that free pass right there. Tyler Wolfert sees that one off the plate and away from him in the right-handed batter's box. Makes it 1-0. Wolfert adjusting his bat there. Now Coyle offers. It's a slow chopper to Gavin Keelan at short. The flip, 6-4, long throw for 3 in time. Another double play for the Falmouth Commodores rolled today. That's 2 in the game. The bases are erased. Now with 2 away suddenly in this 6th inning.
And that's what Parker Coyle's done so well this summer. He's been cool, calm, and collected and just cruising through.
What a way to pick up your pitcher, too. In his first batter, you give up the walk. Gavin Keelan says, if you locate, I got you, and that's what happens there. Now you give Xavier Casarella, still a very dangerous bat, a chance, but with nobody on. First pitch swinging. Chopper, a mere replica. Barehand from Keelan on the run. He made the play. A Gold Glove play from Gavin Keelan. Video game-like. Barehand on the infield grass. And the Doors retire the side 1-2-3 with the help of a 6-4-3 tailor-made double play and a 6-3 putout from Gavin Keelan. Falmouth bats coming up in the 7th here from Veterans Field. Ready to go in the 7th inning here. The man that had 2 putouts in that previous half inning, Gavin Keelan, will lead us off here in the 7th inning. Still going up against Gavin Brzezowski here in this 7th inning. The lefty back out there for another inning of work. First pitch swinging. Gavin Keelan puts a fastball into shallow center field. Getting called off by the shortstop, Caden Kent. He makes the play for the first out.
Mile high on that one and just didn't get enough of that fastball up and in. A little behind it, and that results in the pop out.
Gavin Keelan still working a very productive 1 for 3 today. Single-handedly has really been a menace to this Chatham A's group, given the fact that he's got 8 hits through nearly now the full 4 complete games that the Doors have faced this East Division opponent. First pitch, up and in to Nate Humphreys. He started all the fun last inning. Had an infield hit to lead off the 6th. Came around to score as one of the 3 runs that came across for the Doors off the bat of Cade Snell. Brzezowski comes set, lifts the leg and fires. Snell gives this one a ride pretty deep out into left. Cruising out there and making the play is Donahue for the second out.
Real good swing. Fastball up and away. Didn't try to do too much with it. Hit it pretty hard out to left. Just didn't get enough to go backside.
2 up, 2 down really quickly, giving Tab Tracy a spot now. Struck out in the 6th inning. Last time up, not his best cut on a changeup that was off the plate. Just wasn't really ready for it looked like. But the Commodores putting themselves in a position here down the stretch in this ball game. 9-5-1 entering this contest are the Doors against East Division opponents, trying to take the season set from the Chatham A's. 2-1 overall against this team out here on the east side of the Cape. First pitch, changeup downstairs to Tab Tracy. Brzezowski, left on left battle here, works and fires. Same spot there, but that's with the fastball, though, and can't get the call. It's 2-0.
Brzezowski came in just needing 1 out. In the last inning, he needed 18 pitches to get it. He needed just 3 pitches to get the first 2 outs of this inning. Tracy making him work a little bit more.
Behind in the count is the southpaw for the Chatham A's. Lifts his leg and fires. Tab took it the whole way on that fastball at the letters for the first strike in this at-bat.
I don't hate the approach, if it was Tracy's approach, coming up to this AB thinking take a strike, because first 2 hitters of the inning down on 3 pitches. You want to give your pitcher a chance to take a breath before he has to go right back out there.
He swings at this one, though, and lines this one into left. Tough play, and a good one made by Donahue, reaching down towards his ankle tops to make that play on a line drive out from Tab Tracy. After the 3-run inning, the Doors go down in order 1-2-3. Time to stretch from Chatham. We'll be right back. Parker Coyle back out there for a second inning of work here for Falmouth. Put up a 0 with the help of a tailor-made 6-4-3 double play, as well as a ground ball putout, all to Gavin Keelan. He'll take on 7-8-9 here. Kyson Donahue kept himself busy there in that previous half inning. Had 2 putouts himself out there in left. But a left-on-left matchup here against Parker Coyle. First pitch, fastball up and in. Gets the call behind the plate from Mike Lum, despite Kyson Donahue's look back at the home plate umpire after that one. Good start for Coyle out ahead here this inning. Fires back with another fastball, but that one a little low and away. Makes it 1-1.
This is a Chatham team that's comfortable playing from behind. Each of their last 2 wins against the Gatemen, they were down by a couple of runs entering the 7th and 8th innings and Came back to win 7-2 today, and then yesterday coming back to win 6-3 in 10 innings.
It was a 1-1 game in the 8th inning, and then the Chatham A's put up 6 in the bottom of the 8th. Waving a miss there from Coyle. Gets a swinging strikeout. His first one of the day. But point being, the Chatham A's, obviously there was a plethora of walks surrendered by the Gatemen in that 8th inning that set up the explosion. But in a one-run game here, you still got to hit your spots and focus out there. And that's a good start from Coyle for the first out. Hudson White now, the backstop in there from the right side, has the matchup advantage here from the right side, and he fouls the first one back. Fastball middle, you got to be careful of that spot. It works out for Coyle. He's ahead of it now. White, slight knee bend here, pretty aggressive there with the right knee. First pitch for a ball up there. That's the first ball of the at-bat. Makes it 1-1. Now Coyle back into the wind. Fastball again. That one stayed upstairs. Makes it 2-1. We mentioned this Chatham team picking up a win streak for the first time this season. The Doors trying to snap it on the same day. Good pitch there on the outer third from Coyle. Looked like he got the front door pitch there to get in for a strike. Rather, the back door, excuse me. 2-2 from Coyle. Swing and a miss. Not the best cut at it from Hudson White. Showed us a sword there. Back-to-back strikeouts for the second out in the 7th inning.
Parker Coyle has been a really pleasant piece in this bullpen. I don't want to necessarily call it a pleasant surprise because he was really highly touted coming out of high school and a guy that was up and down a little bit at Arkansas this year, but did show some flashes, but he's been outstanding.
He's got 17 strikeouts now on the season, does Coyle, in just over 17 innings of work. The first pitch fastball here to Trace Witherholt stays upstairs. That's the Falmouth pitching staff. Now as this one's chopped to DeBarge, deep in the hole at third. Long throw on the backhand, and it's in time. Good stretch by McGregor. I was getting ready to say that the strikeouts have been used to this Falmouth staff, second in the Cape League. Didn't need one there, though, to retire the side in order. We're through 7, with the Doors still out in front from Veterans Field. Top of the 8th inning. Cruising along here from Veterans Field. Still 3-2 for the Doors with the help of a 3-run 6th inning. Outside of that, it's been a lot of 1-2-3s for the Falmouth offense in this ball game, in part to Carson Pierce's tremendous start, but a pair of 2-out walks set up the rest of the inning that gave the cleanup role for Cade Snell a chance to come through, and that's exactly what he did. And that is where we stand to this point. Matt Venezia, Zach Serdenik, plenty of others helping you out here on the social handles and graphical elements here from Veterans Field in Chatham. Nate Gardner helping us out here on the graphics, as well as Brendan Capozzi a little bit earlier in the ball game. Takes a team to make it happen here. Back to the top of the order, John Spikerman looking for his first hit in the ball game here. First pitch from Brzezowski off the plate and away. Left there by Spike. 2 for 15 on the season is Spikerman against these Chatham A's. But even with those efforts, still has 12 hits over the course of his last 8 ball games. Trying to find hit number 13. He gets one here to the opposite field. Couple of steps to his right, and Wolfert will make the play. It's a line out to right field to start off the 8th.
Not a bad swing, just a little behind that fastball over the heart of the plate and kind of flipped it the other way, but it hung up just enough for Wolfert.
Second baseman Travis Bazzana up next. Worked a walk, came around to score on that single from Snell. It was in a 3-1 count. You said it, Zach. Probably not worth throwing him anything to hit here. Instead, they put him on base and was able to come in as one of those runs.
Yeah, they walked the next guy after that and then went to the bullpen, and Brzezowski got hurt.
It was a really, really good set of at-bats in a row there by the Falmouth Commodores. Led off the inning with Nate Humphrey seeing the first one, put it right down the line there and became an infield hit. Hudson White ran out there to talk to Brzezowski as this breaking ball ran a little bit in on Bazzana. Not quite sure if that was the sign, but could just be a talk to calm things down for Brzezowski, who's now out there on the hill. The 1-0. Fastball had Hudson White reaching upstairs to get it. And it's 2 balls and no strikes to Travis Bazzana. Brzezowski coming set there on the mound, working out of the stretch with nobody on. Bazzana a little bit late on the fastball. He slices it foul. That's the first strike of this at-bat. Commodores here trying to flip things around a little bit. Negative 14 run differential over the course of the last 14 games. In the positive today, though, for now. Ouch, this one up near Bazzana. Did it get his helmet? I'm not sure. He ducked and limboed out of the way of that one, but that heater came up and in, really too close for comfort there. And the star second baseman looks to be all right.
Wake-up call.
That makes it a 3-1. Brzezowski was the pitcher that gave up the 3-run single. The run's not to his line, but looked a little shaky in the process back there when Snell took him for the base hit. The 3-1 offering. Fastball pretty high. Bazzana thought it was ball 4. And now it's 3-2.
Really good pitch. Just caught the zone. Bazzana didn't love it, but looked like a good call.
That fastball was able to get the zone. The previous, not even close. What do you go to here? The 3-2 pitch. Bazzana fouls it back towards us here. Got a heater. Pretty close to middle, and was just a little bit late on it.
Do you throw a 4th straight heater to a guy like Bazzana, though? I don't know that I do. But at the end of the day, it's a 3-2 count. You got to go to your best pitch. If that fastball is what you feel like the best pitch is, you have to go to it here.
Trying to retire Bazzana in another 3-2 count spot. The offering, fastball pulled foul. Bazzana this time out in front of it, shattered his baseball bat as well. He's got to go grab a new one. He immediately tossed it back towards the on-deck circle of the Falmouth Commodores and gets a new stick from Kyle DeBarge.
Yeah, it was in on the hands. Tried to get out in front and send it down the line because he was looking for that fastball, but it got far enough in that just kind of snaps the bat.
A little bit of splinters there. Didn't really slice it or shatter it in half. No firewood to pick up. But he's back in there now with that pretty unique Bazzana straddle of his baseball bat over the left shoulder. The offering, fastball upstairs. He leaves it there. Back-to-back walks for Bazzana. And he's on now with one away.
Hasn't really been able to get himself a hit yet today, but he's just continuing to work good AB after good AB.
So now Kyle DeBarge will step in. The Commodores trying to halt a little bit of a poor run here of late, as we talked about. A 10-2 loss yesterday in Hyannis, then a loss 7-4 prior to that against YD at Red Wilson Field. First pitch to Kyle DeBarge off the plate. A fastball misses away. Tomorrow the Doors are back home, taking on the Harwich Mariners. Haven't seen Harwich since the stretch of the Nesson games several weeks back. The 1-0. DeBarge gets on this one, back up the middle for a base hit on a couple of hops. Bazzana a wide turn at second. He goes back in reverse, and it's a base hit. Extends the base runners just a little bit. 2 on with only 1 out.
And just 4 hits for Falmouth in this game. They're not swinging it super well tonight, but they're finding a way. And that's exactly what this team was doing when they were winning all those games in a row, is find a way no matter what. And that's what they're trying to do right now.
Finding a way, certainly. It happened in the 6th inning with this part of the lineup up. all with 2 out. Now there's only 1, and it is Cade Snell in there now. The big swing in this ball game, a 3-run single with 2 away in a full count spot. Takes the first pitch in there for a strike.
You also don't see many of those 3-run singles. Doesn't happen often, but it was a 3-2 count and hit kind of softly and really aggressive call by the Doors, and it paid off.
Brzezowski trying to win this matchup with Snell. He gets a chopper here to second. Trying to flip it for 2. They go back to short. The throw back to Snell. Not in time. You can rule that one a 4-6 fielder's choice. They're now on the corners with Snell taking over at first for Tyler McGregor, but now 2 away.
See if McGregor can get one. We've been waiting for his bat to heat back up after getting into this recent cool spell for him. Let's see if he can get a fastball here.
Massive chance for insurance for Falmouth. Cade Woods is out there throwing in the bullpen for the Doors. We saw Parker Coyle go the 2 innings.
Looked really good again. 6 up, 6 down.
We're getting a game delay here. There's a fan out in center, and they're hanging. The fans were trying to climb the fence here at Veterans Field. The home plate umpire signaled over to Joe Gravina and Jeff Merzell to try to get someone to yell out to Zach McDonald out there in center. He's the closest to the fans gathered there. Their legs were just hanging over the fence. Can't do that, but now we're ready to go. McGregor, first pitch swinging, deposits. It's into right. That's going to be a base hit. Snell rounding second. He's on to third. An RBI single. Bites Chatham once again, and it's Tyler McGregor to do it. And the Doors now lead it by 2 here in the 8th.
He got that fastball. We were waiting for him to get on one, and he got it on the first pitch, didn't miss it. Big insurance run for Falmouth. Now it takes a little bit of pressure off the pitchers. Don't have to be perfect out there. They've got a little bit of breathing room.
100 miles an hour off the bat of Tyler McGregor. And because it was out to right center, Cade Snell was able to go first to third. Same situation now with Luke Heyman in the box. He had a big chance himself to continue the rally. Ended up popping out to end that 6th inning of Falmouth. Another chance for Heyman now. 0 for 3 to this point today. Took that first pitch, changeup down in the zone. Good block behind the plate. A ball and no strikes to the Florida Gator in there from the right side. Brzezowski offers a fastball up and away. Good leave by Heyman, and it's 2-0. A lot of fans, appear to be kids gathered around the fence in the perimeter of the outfield. Trying to maybe get a souvenir here from Heyman. The 2-0. Fastball up and in, left there. And it's 3-0. Brzezowski really having a tough time here over the last several at-bats. With the Doors out in front now by 2. 4 unanswered by Falmouth. 3 of them in the 6th inning and 1 home here in the 8th. The 3-0. Off the plate away on the fastball. It's a 4-pitch walk. And the bases are fully loaded. And Marty Lee still sitting on his chair here by his dugout for now. He's talking over to Brzezowski, telling him, let's go, let's go. So he appears he's going to leave him in against the lefty in Gavin Keelan.
Yeah, there's nobody warming in the pen for Chatham. We talked a lot about their upcoming schedule. They don't really have a ton of arms available, and this is inning number 17 for their pitching staff today. They're just trying to make do what they can do.
It's been a close game the whole time up to this point. First pitch fouled off by Gavin Keelan back towards the home plate area. Sure or not, the broadcasters for Chatham were telling us that if the game got out of hand early with their start from Carson Pierce, they would have thrown position players right after that. I'm not quite sure what to make of that. Sure or not, but point being, there are not a lot of available arms for the Falmouth, or rather the Chatham A's, especially in this doubleheader, but even just the course of the next few days, given the amount of baseball this staff has had to play. The 0-1 to Keelan. Fastball up and away off the plate in this left-on-left matchup.
Yeah, there definitely isn't much, and they've got another doubleheader and a doubleheader against an Eastern Division opponent coming up in Orleans a couple of days on the 21st. Those are games they need to win.
Brzezowski in the left-on-left comes set. Now fires the pitch. Keelan left it there low and away, but it's called for a strike by Mike Lum behind the dish. And Now one pitch away from being able to get out of the inning. Already one home for Falmouth, but the base is fully loaded. Cade Snell stands at third. Tyler McGregor, the man, at second. And Luke Heyman, with that 4-pitch walk we just saw, stands at first base. Not being held are any of the base runners for Falmouth here. The 1-2 off the plate. Diving was Hudson White to be able to keep that one from reaching the backstop on a fastball coming in at 88. And the deuce is wild here in the 8th with 2 balls and 2 strikes and 2 away. Looking for more insurance are the Commodores here with the shortstop Gavin Keelan, a chance to do it. The offering, swing and a miss. Went up the ladder, came up empty. Brzezowski gets out of that jam, but not before one more comes in. Tyler McGregor, the big first baseman, gets an RBI single. That's why it's 4-2 for the good guys as we head to the 8th. Parker Coyle back out there now, beginning his 3rd inning of work. So far, so good. Has seen the minimum. Had a double play ball in the 6th inning to help out with those efforts after a first-man walk that he saw to Nolan Schubert. But then 2 strikeouts and a ground ball out to Kyle DeBarge in the previous inning of the 7th. And now the Doors getting one more run of insurance, trying to keep it protected here. Coyle works into the wind. First pitch fouled straight back from Caden Kent. He's been a tough putout today for the Commodores. 2 for 3, 2 base hits. Came around to score on his most recent one back in the 5th inning. Parker Coyle gets into the motion here. Drops a slider up and in. Good leave from Kent. Evens the count at 1. Now Coyle again gets into it with the fastball here. Down and in. Good leave from tonight's shortstop for Marty Lees and the Chatham A's. The A's today already pick up 1 win with that resumed doubleheader action with Wareham. Kent lines one into left on that 2-1 offering, and it's a base hit. Just like that, the tying run in Bryce Martin Grudzielanek will come into the box. Good piece there to the opposite way, and a leadoff base runner aboard.
Real good swing. Fastball below the zone and just sliced it the other way.
Sometimes that's how it goes. Coyle still staying out there, but now Mike Landry leaves the dugout. He'll go out there and have a word. As we mentioned, Cade Woods, the righty, has been up and throwing for a little while, and now the move to the pen has been made. So Coyle was probably only going to see Kent anyways with the left on left, but now the move, regardless of whether he would have gotten him, or in this case, the base hit, it will be a right on right coming up. Cade Woods and his numbers when we return from Veterans Field. The move to the bullpen to add the soon-to-be LSU Tiger, Cade Woods. Same instance as Parker Coyle. Haven't seen him since a Born Brave effort on July 13th, so plenty of rest and ready to go here 5 days later.
Yeah, he's a flamethrower from the right side. Going to come in and bring it mid-90s with a pretty good breaking ball as well that gets down into the mid-70s. He's got good stuff. We'll see if he can use it here tonight.
He'll see Bryce Martin, Grudzelanic, and Zach McDonald due up on deck. Two righties in a row with Schubert in the hole. Caden Kent's base hit to lead off this inning has him standing at first base. But yes, we saw Cade Woods in a non-save situation in that 7-2 win at Doran Park a couple of days ago. Had a strikeout in that ball game through the inning that he threw in the ninth.
We talked a little about Grudzelanic's genes, but doing a little more looking as well about his dad, Mark, that played in the majors. Not only did he play in the majors, he was pretty solid. Had himself 2,000 hits, hit for the cycle at one point.
That certainly works. We know a guy who hit for the cycle not too long ago.
Grudzelanic may have done it, in the majors, but we'll see.
Very true.
Maybe Bizana can do the same. He's definitely got the talent.
That's for sure. We'll find out about that within the next 365 days, I'd imagine. Before we even get going, Woods a check over to the base runner in Kent. Tyler McGregor holding him on here, the only base runner aboard here. The crowd getting into it now. They "Let's Go Anglers" chant. Woods out of the stretch. First pitch, fastball, outer third at 94 on the gun. Called for the first strike. Martin Grudzelanic, double play victim back in the first. Another ground ball out to Bizana in the fourth. Had himself an RBI double. They made it 2-0 for Chatham. Another pickoff move from Woods, who comes set. Davels his glove just a little bit from the belt and now offers the fastball up and away, trying to get that top right corner. Couldn't get it. And it's 2-0. Rather, the scoreboard says 2-0. I believe it should be 1-1. We'll see what the home plate umpire Mike Lum says after this pitch. Fastball off the plate. That is ball 2 for sure. And they do correct it now on the scoreboard. It says 2-1 now. Ran into that at, I believe, McKeon Park the other day. It was a little confusing with the scoreboard. NYD, actually, Red Wilson Field. A check over back to Caden Kent. Woods making good tabs on Kent right now. Got a lot of speed there trying to get that run right now, which is a tying run in the box, but you want to get that run closer in scoring position. The offering, wave and a miss. Big cut there, and coming up empty was Grudzelanic. It's 2-2.
And Cade Woods made his debut here at Veterans Field back in the first meeting between these two sides, and he was pretty good, but he did give up a 2-run homer.
Woods coming set, another check over to Caden Kent. Kent stole 3 bases this year with the Aggies at Texas A&M during his freshman campaign. Can still be a threat to go, obviously. But
he can, but he's just 1 for 4 on the summer as well.
Extending his primary lead a little bit. Now into the secondary. It's a ground ball to second. Bizana could do it himself. He taps on the bag. A flip over back to McGregor. They do. Another double play. There's been 3 of them now in the ball game for the Commodores defensively. That one was easy. Bizana himself picks up 2 outs.
They've all come at really big times, and doesn't get much bigger than that with the tying run at the plate in the 8th.
You eliminate the speed of Caden Kent, take care of a good bat in Bryce Martin Grudzelanic, and now Zach McDonald comes up. Not as the tying run because of the double play. You'd need Nolan Schubert to find a way up in this inning. First pitch, slider, stays a little bit low and away. Looked pretty good from up here, Zach. Makes it 1-0. McDonald today was hit by a pitch back in the 5th. Officially 0 for 2. Comes up empty on a big cut here at a fastball from Cade Woods. Evens the count up at 1. No activity in the Commodores bullpen right now. Just some light stretching out there. As Woods fires a fastball up and away. Got the zone, though. The A's dugout not too happy with the call. Makes it 1-2. The purpose of bringing up the bullpen. Joey Ryan's been that save and closer role guy for Falmouth in the 9th inning. We should see him, but Cade Wood says, I can do it myself here in the 8th. Swing and a miss. Picks up a strikeout there in the 1-2, and that will end the frame. He sees the minimum as well with the help of that double play ball, protecting the 2-run lead of the Doors still. One more chance for insurance in the top half of the 9th. We go there next from Veterans Field. A move to the bullpen done by the Chatham A's. Couple of moves as well, but Xavier Casarella will take the mound. We'll have his stuff in a second. Hasn't pitched yet this summer for Falmouth. Appears to be a position player move. Meanwhile, Caden Kent takes over at third base. And a move to shortstop as well. We'll have that one for you in just a second. But a couple of substitutions made by Marty Lees here. The first pitch there with Fabian now over at short. First pitch here, taken for a strike on the inner third from Casarella. Makes it 1-1. Took a checking for the scoreboard to catch up to that one, but now it's 1-1.
Casarella really can bring it for a guy that doesn't pitch much. 88 on that fastball.
Trying to just save those arms as we talked about, Zach. But it's now a 2-1 there. Looked to be a changeup missing a little bit low. The Florida Gator, Derek Fabian, now in there at the shortstop position. The 2-1. Nate Humphreys jumps on one out to deep center field. A look out in center from McDonald, and you can watch it fly. Nate Humphreys, for the second time this season, has left the yard at 424 feet. Walloped that one to straightaway, and another run of insurance for the Doors on his second long ball of the summer.
He got a fastball up in the zone and did not miss it. Casarella getting a welcome to the mound in the Cape League here. Humphreys gives it a ride, and the Chatham dugout let him hear it. Nolan Schubert just yelled, "Don't throw that again."
Gets back to it, throws a fastball there at 91. Maybe feeling a little bit of the emotions after that home run given up to Tab Tracy now in the box. Tracy looking for his first long ball in the summer. Let's see if he can jump on something here. The 0-1 from Casarella. Slowed it down on him a little bit there. He chopped that pitch at 74, foul towards his own dugout, and it's quickly 0-2.
It is Joey Ryan up and warming in the bullpen for the Doors as well. But we'll see if Falmouth gets another run here if they bring him in, if it's no longer a save spot.
Out of the wind, the offering off the plate. You're right, Zach. It would not be a save situation should one more run come across. But Joey Ryan continues to get loose there. That one was off the plate, outer third away from the lefty and Tab Tracy. Casarella now into his motion, delivers Slows it down there with a slider, still low and away, makes it 2-2. The previous offering, he went in the windup, but with the glove over his head. That time, though, he makes it a little bit more simplistic and just keeps the glove to his chest. We'll see what he wants to go to here. Couple of shakes there to Hudson White, and now Casarella works into the wind. The offering, Tracy got his barrel out in front of that one, pulls it foul towards the bullpen of Falmouth.
Just trying to stay alive, continuing to work good ABs. This is a very different position player pitching type look than Falmouth saw the last time they saw a position player, where it was Jacob Tobias from Katuitt when he was throwing it in at about 74.
Easy now, that's a Sun Devil. 2-2 now from Casarella. Goes at the fastball, and it's chopped off the glove of Hudson White, straight back for another foul ball.
He may be a Sun Devil, but he's not a Sun Devil pitcher. He's a Sun Devil hitter, and he can hit. Just probably not something that Willie Bloomquist is going to use on the mound.
Well, to be fair, the Sun Devils, 7 of their 8 draft-eligible players that ended up going and signing were pitchers, so not many left in Tempe right now. Tap Tracy fouls that one off again. Got a slider there, and he's battling right now with Casarella. We'll do the 2-2 again. I'd have to imagine that if Casarella wins this battle, this place might erupt over there from the dugout of the Chatham A's.
That was a really good slider, too. Tracy just lucky to get a piece of it and stay alive.
Casarella once again goes fastball, jam tab Tracy, and on a line. Wasn't hit all that hard, but playing deep, it's short. A diving play made at third by Kent. The newest substitution in over there at third base, moving over from shortstop, and he'll make that play.
Yeah, really nice job. A jam shot up and in, and just kind of flared it out there, and Kent doing a nice job to make that catch, because with Tracy's speed, if he doesn't catch that ball in the air, that's almost certainly going to be an infield single.
So now John Spikerman back to the top of the order, 0 for 4 today. Like as you mentioned earlier, Zach, a lot of streaks of hot and cold for the center fielder for the Commodores today. Gets a slider there on the first pitch. Low and in, makes it 1-0. Should the score hold, the Commodores would pick up a 10th win this season against the East Division. Fastball there at the belt, in there for a strike from Casarella. If you do the math, that means the Doors have only won 5 games in their own division. Not a good combination. You'd rather have it be flipped the other way. But Casarella again working into the motion here. Fastball stays upstairs, a little bit high. There makes it now a 2-1 count. With the Doors on top, 5-2. Runs in 2 consecutive innings. This inning had Nate Humphreys go 424 to straightaway center field to get us going here in the 9th. Watch that changeup down a little bit low. And it's now 3 balls and 1 strike to Spikerman, trying to find a way on base for the first time tonight. Casarella continues to work out there, and he drops his slider low and in. And that's going to be a walk. John Spikerman will take it. He's on for the first time today, with still only 1 away.
This is where the wheels might come off a little bit with a new pitcher in Casarella out there. You want to try and settle him in as much as possible, but he's not used to being out there. He's not somebody that has to work through jams often.
Travis Mazzana told me today it was going to be a money game from him today, and that's resulted in a pair of walks and consecutive at-bats. Overall, 0 for 2. But might have a chance here against a position player to maybe back his word on that one here. First pitch off the plate, 1-0. Mazzana staggering himself there in the box, waving the bat over his shoulder. And now this one, fastball off the plate. Not there again, it's 2-0.
Well, and a lot of times with the position player coming in, you'd say it's almost tougher for these guys to hit off of them because of the speed differential, but there really isn't a great speed differential from Casarella. He's still throwing mid to upper 80s with the fastball.
That one right there was 86. Still looked like the fastball might be losing it there a little bit, or at least on that pitch. You talk about the stamina of some of these guys that aren't typically pitchers to go out there for consecutive opportunities here. 3-0 to Mazzana. He took that fastball all day. Same spot there, better at 86 in there for a strike. Spikerman extending his lead there into a nice little primary at first base. He goes on the first move, and it's chopped foul. Trying to get him in motion with the ball in play from Mazzana. He'll have to walk on back in a full count chance now.
Not at all surprised that Spikerman took off there. Casarella definitely not used to holding on runners, and Spikerman's one of the quickest guys on the Cape. He's got himself 9 stolen bags already to lead the team. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go again.
I was going to say, he probably would, even in a one-out situation here. You like your chances of Pisana being able to put something in play. The 3-2 chopped up the middle. Could be a double play of their own here for the Chatham A's, and they do. It's an unassisted 6-3 double play, and after the home run, Casarella gets out of the inning to a large ovation from those gathered here at Veterans Field. One more run of insurance for the Doors, trying to hold on to it. It's a 3-run lead for the good guys with Joey Ryan coming to the mound when we come back. Joey Ryan, in a save situation, will take the mound for Falmouth, trying to shut the door here with 5 unanswered offensive runs for Falmouth, needing one more 0 to close out the win.
Just looking to continue to cruise like he has all season long. 2-time Cape League All-Star.
His first offering out of Boston College in there for a strike, taking on Derek Fabian here. Came in as a substitution in the previous half inning. He now works in that designated hitter spot, but because of the substitution, Chatham loses its DH. Not that it really matters, though, trailing by 3 here, but this game's still relatively within reach. Slider off the outer third, called for a strike 2. Ryan into the motion here. Left a pitch up there, upstairs. Looked like a slider there from Ryan, left up by Fabian, and it's 1-2. Good numbers this summer for Joey Ryan already, trying to find a first out here, and Fabian just barely gets on that fastball at 92. He sent it straight back.
Fabian's got good pop. He's got good numbers out of Florida.
Joey Ryan, 2 saves this summer so far, trying to find one here, and he gets a wave and a miss on a slider. Good start as he strikes out Derek Fabian for the first out here in the bottom of the 9th.
And that's what we've seen from Joey Ryan really all summer long. Just comes in and is immediately locked in.
His 9th strikeout now in officially 9 1/3 innings pitched for the Doors here. Has been the 9th inning guy since Casey Hunt moved on to the major leagues. Good to see Casey signing with the Milwaukee Brewers. He's an undrafted free agent now in the Complex League out there in Phoenix. Pretty close to me, actually, out there at school. I drive by the Brewers facility all the time out there in the East Valley. Offers a slider here up and in, left there by Tyler Wolfert. He's ahead of it now, 2-0. Reached on an error back in the fourth, was stranded at third base though. Officially though, 0 for 3 today is Wolfert. In there from the right side, big cut and a miss for the first strike of this at-bat. Got the big green eyes there trying to find the fastball, but he comes up empty. Carries that bat over his right shoulder near his head here. Ryan now offers. It's the slider, and it's fouled straight back to us. And if nothing else, one more souvenir for the kids gathered here at Veterans Field.
Oh, and they're all making a race out of it to get to it. It was a quick run from quite a few down that hill behind us.
Zach, if I didn't have the headset on, I'd be joining them in that effort to grab that foul ball.
I bet you would. You get some track reps in.
Running out of games, though.
Yeah, you are.
Joey Ryan now looks in for the sign from Heyman, works into his wind and the pitch. Fastball upstairs. That one came out hot at 92, and the count is full.
We're working our way through this season pretty quickly. Only 12 regular season matchups after this before the playoffs start.
That's right. The full count offering from Ryan. Swing and a miss. Goes back to the slider. Has used it for 2 strikeouts already. Really good start for Ryan. And the Chatham A's down to their final out tonight.
And it's now the pitcher coming up.
Yes, it is. It's funny that that's the way it is. But yes, I mean, Casarella now in there in the pitcher spot. Was obviously used at third base for the majority of this ball game. Will take on Joey Ryan. First pitch, another strike. Ryan smooth sailing right now, ahead of it 0-1.
It's extremely rare that you see both a position player pitch and a save opportunity in the same game.
That's correct. That's what we have here. Goes with a front door slider in there for another strike. And just like that, the Chatham A's down to their final strike tonight. The Commodores trying to find another win here with Ryan into the motion. The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Went downstairs with the slider, and Joey Ryan picks up save number 3 and a huge needed win for Falmouth, improving to 15 wins, 15 losses, and 2 ties here from Veterans Field.
The Doors found a way, and that's all they had to do on the road here. End up with more than Chatham did, and Falmouth successful in that tonight.
Ball game comes to a close at 9:34 Eastern. Falmouth Commodores again pick up just the team's second win in the last 5 days. Got to hope it can start some sort of a run. But tomorrow will be a tough effort against the Harwich Mariners, Zach. But hey, that's win number 10 this season against the East Division. That's at least something positive riding into tomorrow.
It is, and it's something that you're hoping to extend upon with another East Division opponent coming into Gov Fuller Field with the Mariners.
That is right. The last time we saw them was a beatdown of Falmouth at the Gov, 8-1. We won't see Harwich over there at White House Field for quite some bit into the last week of the regular season, although we will be at White House Field on Saturday for the All-Star game. That'll be a really, really fun set of activities between the game and the Home Run Derby. But tonight, the Falmouth Commodores did have a home run of their own. Wasn't until the 9th inning, but most of the offense today, partner, a lot of base hits and bringing in runs that Chatham loaded for you.
Taking advantage of what your opponent gives you. That's what Falmouth does really well a lot this season, and they did it again tonight.
Evan O'Toole will get the win for the Falmouth Commodores today. Carson Pierce, again, his stellar outing up until the 5th inning, or rather, the 6th. Really, really good stuff, but they again had those 2 out walks, 2 of them to be exact, which gave Cade Snell the opportunity to bring them all in. And Joey Ryan, the big righty, gets the save for the Doors tonight, helping us out right now. And again, just an effort that you just have to take it as they come, trying to get yourself back in position here. And look, with the loss of Wareham earlier today because of the help of Chatham, now you gain another game, now 4 games ahead in that playoff race.
And that's exactly where you want to be. Just got to continue to push going in. It'll be fun tomorrow.
Had a good one here in Chatham at Veterans Field. We want to thank everyone for tuning in to our contest here at the Doors, getting the win 5-2 for all our friends helping out in the social handles and platforms for you throughout the ball game. For my partner broadcasting with me, Zach Serdenik, I've been Matt Venezia saying so long and good night from Veterans Field in Chatham, Massachusetts. We'll see you tomorrow from the Gov when the Doors take on the Harwich Mariners. We will see you then.